Whoa, I did not see this coming, but we're getting a free Ghosts of Tsushima co-op DLC update this fall. It looks very cool and goes hard into the mythology instead of being grounded like the regular adventure. So in this video I want to go over the trailer they released and also talk about some extra info that we got from a PlayStation blog article. A like on the video would really help the channel out. And let's go. So everyone who owns Ghosts of Tsushima will be getting this co-op mode for free this autumn. So that's really from the end of September till mid-December. Fingers crossed that it doesn't release in the same week as Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because this looks very awesome. So this Legends mode is separate from the single player. It doesn't have to do with the open world, but instead it will feature 2-player co-op story missions that get more challenging over time and that are really combat focused, but with a new magic twist that often requires careful synchronization with your partner, as noted on the PlayStation blog. So sounds like we have unique ways to work together to take out the increasingly challenging foes. And then next to that we got 4-player wave-based survival missions where we have to fight the toughest enemies Tsushima has to offer, so like the more challenging Mongol enemies, and they will also include new Oni enemies with supernatural abilities. And we already saw them in the trailer a little bit with the crazy horns and armor looking very awesome, although this enemy might also have to do with the raid that I will touch on a little later. But overall these enemies should be way more over the top than what we saw in the main game, and I'm all for that. And the same can actually be said about the 4 classes that we get to play, because Jin is not a part of this mode at all. Instead we get to play one of these 4 warriors who will be based on legends in stories told by people of Tsushima. So what if we actually play characters that we heard about in mythical tales, for example? That would be awesome. It's kind of hard to see if that is the case in the trailer, mostly because of the gear that these characters are wearing, but your input is of course more than welcome in the comments down below. We got the samurai class with the Sakai clan type of armor, but with way bigger horns and other added elements. And looks like this class can at least perform the stances, as we see him do the moon stance here. And I love the glowing effect around the katana, maybe that's one of the abilities he can do. The assassin character stands like Jin with the ghost armor, as we see here in this picture with all the 4 classes. But it's not really the ghost armor, because it has this awesome snake around it and other touches, making it completely different. And of course the new mask that we haven't seen before looks really cool. And seems like he's also performing moon stance attacks against this heavy enemy in the short footage that we got. And the PlayStation blog notes that each class has unique advantages and abilities that we will reveal in the future. I do think we already saw 2 of those abilities though in action in the trailer. The hunter here is charging up this glowing bow. And what if this character is Tomoe? Again, it's hard to see. She seems to be using the half bow at least. And what is this, like the white ghost mask? Or is it the Sakai mask? Again, of course, your take is more than welcome in the comments down below. The headband at least seems to be the headband of death, and there should be customization in this Legends mode too. So I'm sure that what we're seeing here is just one of the armor sets that we can wear. Like, I would not be surprised if there was more when the mode releases. The 4th class we can pick is the Ronin, that has the straw hat and a version of the Kensei armor from the looks of it. And we do see an interesting ability for this class, where he floats in the air and then does this sort of AoE blast on the ground. Looks pretty cool, and overall it's just awesome that they are going for this more mythical take. I really enjoyed the demon duel that we had in that mythical tale for the longbow. Of course, that turned out to be a hallucination, but now they can really go full on Japanese folklore, and we should totally see that in the environments during the co-op missions as well. There are these floating candle-like things that we can grapple onto with our grappling hook. And there should also be a raid coming to this mode after the release. So again, at launch we have the 2-player co-op story missions and the 4-player survival missions, but they will also bring a 4-player raid that will arrive shortly after the launch of Ghosts of Tsushima Legends, sending you and your partners to to an entirely new realm to challenge a brutal, terrifying enemy. So it sounds like the activities that we get at the release of this mode are just a warm-up for this like 4-player boss or something that we can expect in the raid. I never thought that I wanted something like this, but I gotta say, this sounds awesome. The combat in Ghosts of Tsushima is of course really cool, so doing more things with it and adding co-op onto it really makes sense. And we talked about it before in my Horizon 2 co-op rumor video. Maybe you remember it, there were these big rumors that Guerrilla Games was also working on a co-op mode for Horizon. And I gotta say, those rumors are way more likely now after this Ghost of Tsushima Legends announcement. There's a way bigger trend going on here and likely going to happen in the future. Like, Sony wants everyone who enjoys their single player games to also subscribe to PlayStation Plus. We also saw that in the trailer like multiple times. Like, we saw the messages saying that PS Plus is required to play this free co-op mode. So now people, and maybe you are one of them, who normally do not subscribe to PlayStation Plus and only play the single player PS4 exclusives, are more inclined to do so because there's co-op suddenly in that single player game. So if you want to continue playing Ghost of Tsushima, then this co-op mode is a cool way to do so. So instead of making new shooters that we as single player fans do not want to play, Sony is investing in multiplayer modes for their single player games. This is a really awesome topic to dive into in a future Sunday Your Game show, so totally expect something on that. And let's also hope that all the new armor sets and cosmetics and stuff like that they're making for this Legends mode are also somehow coming to the main game, like maybe as earnable things in a New Game Plus mode. Something like that would be very cool. When we know more about future Ghost of Tsushima updates, and of course everything on Legends, I will let you know here on the channel, so totally subscribe to miss nothing. A like on the video would be really appreciated, and at the end of every Ghost of Tsushima video, I of course want to highlight pictures that you send me via the input@JorRaptor.com email address, or by following me on Twitter @JorRaptor, and using the Jor of Tsushima hashtag, just like T-Bout did, with this awesome Sakai clan armor photo with the flames in the background. And love how dark Jin is while standing in the middle there, really great shot. Patty just killed a lot of Mongols as we see in the blurry background, but is now cleaning his sword while using one of my favorite hats in the game, the Oni's Blade Straw hat. Onek had way too many awesome shots, like this one of Jin looking in the distance, or this one with the thunder in the background. My favorite though is the one of Jin playing the flute while the moon is shining over the hills. We see some smoke here and there and a bird too. Really awesome shot. And I also love this one from Ellen with Jin looking towards this green light with the cool Gosaku helmet. Nicely positioned, really well done. And we got Oni's Wrath from the bewildered Krogan with Jin coming out of both the poison and smoke bomb cloud. Perfect way to surprise the enemies. Again, subscribe for way more on Ghost of Tsushima and this awesome Legends mode. A like would really help me out. And check out my previous video on the most recent Ghost of Tsushima update that removed some farm tactics and also added a cool new feature. For now though, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.